In today's video, anti-ICE activists are done for. The so-called protesters who spent months obstructing and assaulting federal agents are finally getting a heavy dose of reality. After repeated clashes, blockades, and assaults on federal agents, the Department of Justice just dropped a bombshell announcement that'll have every agitator thinking twice. And so we're breaking it all down, showing you how each side is presenting their case and what it really means for the people caught in the middle. As always, the best way you can show your support and that you enjoy the content is by hitting that thumbs up. That tells me you like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns just like this.
Up with liberation! Down, down with deportation! Up with liberation!
Up with liberation!
Down, down with deportation!
Down, down with deportation!
Up with liberation!
In response to recent immigration enforcement actions in Los Angeles, to date, we have charged 97 individuals either with assault or impeding of federal agents engaged in immigration enforcement operations, and we will continue to charge more as we obtain the evidence. Protesters, including members of an organization named VC Defensa, came to the site of the search warrants. VC Defensa is an organization that operates and manages what they call a rapid response network designed to impede federal agents and their enforcement operations. And that warrant is what you see on the camera there at the marijuana farm where the agents were attempting to leave. In one of the criminal complaints today, we are charging 2 members of VC Defensa for conspiring to impede and injure federal law enforcement officers. These 2 VC Defensa members went to the protests on July 10th in Ventura County and acted with others to assault enforcement vehicles and officers. One of the members charged in the complaint used her vehicle to block U.S. government vehicles from leaving the location, while another member and others ambushed the vehicles by throwing rocks at them, and those images went viral. Several government vehicles were damaged, and a federal contract employee was injured as a rock went through her vehicle window, shattering the glass and striking her. And you're going to hear more about that case here shortly. Separately, in another incident that you also see on the TV here, on June 8th in downtown Los Angeles Civic Center, a group of agitators used the protests as an excuse to throw rocks, bottles, and other objects at officers, injuring several of them. Government and private property were vandalized. Los Angeles police declared an unlawful assembly, yet the violence continued. 9 of the defendants charged in that second criminal complaint were filmed on cell phones by local news and other media, throwing rocks, bottles, and objects, including objects on fire from an overpass on Main and Los Angeles Street here in downtown LA onto the CHP officers and their vehicles. 2 defendants charged in today's complaint were recorded lighting debris on fire and throwing it at CHP vehicles, pouring what appeared to be flammable liquid, which increased the size of the flames. The officers and vehicles were on the freeway after removing demonstrators who had marched onto the freeway to block traffic lanes. During the mayhem, one CHP vehicle was set ablaze. Officers were trapped while an angry mob threw debris at them from above.
This can only be described as a good thing. For too long, these ICE agitators have acted as if it's their right to be able to interfere with federal agents doing their jobs. And now they're finally learning the hard truth that your feelings don't supersede the law. And those people who have been actively involving themselves in obstructing law enforcement and creating chaos are about to suffer the consequences. And that's exactly how it should be, because the narrative that's being pushed by the media, by the left, has been that these protests have been peaceful. These been peaceful kumbaya protests, right? That's what we've been hearing. And it's been the federal agents who have been the ones who have been reckless, just throwing tear gas into crowds and shooting pepper balls. That's not the reality. The agitators have been the aggressors. The agents have been the ones who have been responding to this aggression that continued to escalate while these so-called protesters said they were being peaceful. And that brings us to the first clip that I shared, where that lovely crowd thought they could just block ICE vehicles, and because they were singing songs with melody, that meant it was okay. And a Democrat congressional candidate who was a part of that crowd, matter of fact, she was actually one of the leaders, has now been indicted.
Federal charges have been filed against Democratic congressional candidate Kat Abughazaleh and others in connection to a protest at the Broadview ICE facility.
The group is accused of damaging and surrounding ICE agents' vehicles. WGN's Angelica Sanchez has Abughazaleh's response to those allegations.
This is a First Amendment issue, plain and simple.
Outside her Rogers Park campaign office, Democratic congressional candidate Kat Abughazaleh tells WGN the federal charge against her is an attack on free speech.
I and hundreds of people across Chicago have been protesting ICE as they commit crimes in our community.
On September 26, more than 100 people called for an end to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in Broadview. Protesters were seen banging on the windows, doors, and hood of a federal vehicle attempting to get by. Tear gas and pepper balls were deployed. Federal authorities are now accusing Abughazaleh and others of surrounding and damaging an ICE agent's vehicle. They claim pig was etched into the car. We asked her about the allegations.
Look, I have been exercising my First Amendment rights within what we are guaranteed under the Constitution, and these attacks by the administration are not just governmental overreach, they're unconstitutional and they endanger us all.
Also charged are Michael Rabbitt, a 45th Ward Democratic Committee person, Catherine Sharp, running for a Cook County Board seat, as well as Andre Martin, Brian Straw, and Jocelyn Walsh. Abughazaleh is running for the 9th District seat held by Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. Schakowsky is retiring at the end of this term. The 26-year-old has become a popular figure on social media, taking on right-wing politicians and commentators. She's already raising money for her legal costs.
Well, we've got the campaign and we have the primary in 5 months and we still plan on winning, both in court and on election day.
I don't believe for 1 second she even thinks anything she said right there is the truth. I think what she's doing is very much calculated right now at this point in time as a way to draw more attention to herself. That's how I see it. If not, she'd just be a 26-year-old who has aspirations of running for Congress in the state of Illinois with a social media following. But you go to a couple protests, you create some chaos, you block some vehicles. Now you got a base. You get some interviews on news stations. Now you got attention. Now you got a base. Now you have people who are willing to come out, support you as far as fundraisers. And before you know, you have an entire base that's built towards putting you in a position to be able to gain a seat in the Democrat Party as a congresswoman. And now she found out that there are consequences for her actions, and it's not going to help her case one bit when they can dig up interviews of you on news stations admitting, even though you want to say one thing right there, of you admitting that, yeah, you were willfully blocking federal agents' vehicles. Take a listen.
We have Kat once again. Kat, what's your last name?
Abughazaleh.
And Kat, you were one of those who got pushed down earlier this morning by ICE agents. Talk to me. That was twice. Talk to me a little bit about where things are right now. That was probably the most tense moment we've seen all morning. Not probably, it was.
Yeah, so the first time that we were accosted, they took a protester inside, and then we have been waiting here to get them out. We saw them come out in chains, were put in a van, and all of us joined arms and did not let the van pass. So ICE came in and tried to drive the car through us. They almost ran someone over. We did not move. We stood strong, and that's when they brought out the pepper balls. That's when they brought out the tear gas. I got shot in the leg like 6 times, but that's nothing compared to what some other people experienced. We all got tear gassed. There are canisters on the ground. I was talking to people who covered, Ferguson, that covered like all of these different protests that have had so much, excessive use of force, and they were like, I've never seen anything like this. And they took another person in. There was another peaceful protester that was dragged inside.
Yeah, so this is just all one big performance. She admits that, yeah, she was blocking the agents in, and it was only after they were blocking them in that they then were removed with force because they wouldn't let the agents by. But really, this just represents what the Democrat Party has become. No real solutions or policies that are actually beneficial to citizens, just chaos. And so when you understand that aspect of it, it just helps you to better understand and see clearly exactly what's going on. And so let's listen and to the hilarious, a performative response that she put on her social media after she received that indictment. Take a listen.
My name is Kat Abughazaleh. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois, and the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear gassed hundreds of protesters, simply because we had the gall to say that masked men coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods, this administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence. But we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grabs. And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now, but we have to overcome that fear. This case targets our rights to protest, speak freely, and associate with anyone who disagrees with the government. And while we have seen the unhinged and unlawful tactics this administration has used against the American public, it's important to remember they're doing this because they are scared. They are wrong. And they know they are on the wrong side of history. We cannot diminish ourselves in the face of these attacks. That's why we have to unite and stand up for humanity, our rights, and everyone terrorized by Trump's lawless secret police. You'll be hearing regular updates directly from me about this case and how we can use our constitutional rights to resist authoritarianism. And as scary as all of this is, I have spent my career fighting America's backslide into fascism. I'm not going to stop now, and I hope you won't either.
You have to laugh because I know an actor when I see it. I know someone putting on for the camera, playing up the victim mentality, the woe is me, the wokeness, all of it. I mean, it was a gumbo of all of the talking points to hit and trigger all of the Trump deranged individuals out there. People like her need to spend some time in prison, then maybe, probably not, but maybe they'll appreciate their freedoms a little bit more. You cannot create human blockades where you prevent federal vehicles from moving freely on public streets because you are upset and it hurts your feelings and you don't like what's going on. You know, and so I hope this goes to the fullest extent of the law that it will allow. And she is made an example of when it comes to what you can and you cannot do when it comes to protesting. Protesting is perfectly fine in this country. It is a right we are given. But when you then go as far to prevent law enforcement, I mean, can we imagine if this was a situation with police officers? They would be arrested immediately. But for some reason, because it's Border Patrol, ICE, it's allowed? No. It's not. The laws doesn't change because you don't agree with it or you don't like it. The laws are the laws for the reason they are there to keep us safe. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear back from you. Drop your comments down below. Tell me what you think about this topic. As always, the best way you can show your support and that you enjoyed the video is by hitting that thumbs up button that tells me you like the video, and subscribe for more breakdowns just like this. And as always, until next time.